Hello! Hope you all enjoyed your Christmas and holidays. And with 2023 right around the corner, New Year right around the corner, I noticed there's quite a few JRPGs coming out next year. And I thought I'd just kind of go over the ones that I'm most excited for. You know, the Year of the JRPG, if you will. Besides, we have Fire Emblem Engage and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom also coming out next year. I know those aren't really JRPGs, but they do have some RPG elements, so kind of throwing that in there for a bonus. You know, those are two other games I'm excited for. But yeah, there's also, of course, the Suikoden Remasters, or Suikoden, or as my friend calls it, Suikoden. Yeah, the remaster and the first two, Konami that is, they're coming out. Well, there's no announcement date yet, but I actually did a whole video on that. I'll put the link in the description that talks more about the games in general. Because, you know, those are amazing JRPGs, especially the second one. You know, that's like a must-play game, basically. At least I think it is, especially if you're a JRPG fan. And, it's funny, I think I said that in that other video, too, the one that I just mentioned, that it's like, I've been saying for years that I would love to see the second one get, like, an HD remaster, and having the first one also remastered and putting them together, that's, like, kind of just like a bonus. But yeah, it looks great. The remaster looks great. I can't wait for that, which we haven't really heard an announcement show. I mean, a release date is the term I'm looking for. And it's also because, considering those games came out in the 90s, you figure it's also, you know, so it's also for all a whole new generation of gamers. And I don't know about the first one. It's been a while since I checked, but I know the second one is the original hardware anyway, the original game. The second one is very expensive. Like, you know, the disc alone is like $100. You know, and then if you want to complete, but so yeah, that's another great thing about these being remastered. And that's the other thing is that the Suikoden games were always PlayStation exclusives. You know, the first two were for the original PlayStation, and 3, 4, and 5. Before the franchise went cold, 3, 4, and 5 were on the PS2, but this dual collection set thing is coming to all the systems: PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. So if you have a gaming PC or the Steam Deck or both, you know, that's another great way to play it. Yeah, now, the next one is the spiritual successor to Suikoden. I think I'm saying this right. It's Eiyuden Chronicle. Or Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, or something like that, to be more precise. You know, it's being made by a group of the people that worked on the first two Suikoden games. Because, like, after the second one, the games kind of went a little bit in a different direction. They were very different. That's kind of why, because a lot of the original team left, but that's a whole other story. So, yeah, it's done by the same team, and it looks really good. I can't wait for that, you know. And what was I gonna say? You know, we've seen trailers and like just videos of like people talking about it and stuff, like, you know, people excited for it, like I'm doing right now. Of course, a lot of these people actually use gameplay footage, but it's from those videos. I'm like, you know, you can see a lot of interesting looking characters. Like, there's a shark guy with a mace, or maybe it was a flail. There actually is a video here on YouTube that shows like all the characters. And it was like, I was almost tempted to watch it, but I was like, nope, like, I want to be surprised. I think that's coming out sometime in the spring, but I could be wrong. There's also another game they made from the same company that just came out this past summer, and that one's called Eiyuden Chronicle Uprising. It takes place before the upcoming game, and I've been playing that because I just got it recently, not too long ago, but that one is actually very different. It's more of an action platformer. And there's a lot of fetch quests in that game, which I don't know why I personally enjoy fetch quests, but I also understand why a lot of people would be kind of turned off by them. But part of there was two reasons why I got that. One, because I feel like it will kind of help me introduce me into the characters for like the upcoming game, and two, because I want to see this franchise and the company behind it do well. You know, it'll be it'll be cool if we see other Eiyuden Chronicle games down the road. You know, because one of the things I loved about the Suikoden games was having, like, characters carry over. Like, a character you'd see in the first Suikoden game would be in the second, and then characters in the second would be in the third, and so on. So it would be nice to see that happen if we do see more of these games down the road. And it's from what it seems like, it'll be a lot like Suikoden 2, which is personally my favorite in the franchise, and also my favorite JRPG of all time. The next game is Octopath Traveler 2. I still haven't played the first one. I'll either play it eventually, or I'll just skip it entirely and go right to the second. I don't know. You know, maybe I'll play the second and then eventually the first, or, you know, whatever. But, you know, the thing with these games, I like how it has, like, that 16-bit Final Fantasy look. Like, the later Final Fantasy games, like on the PlayStation 2, and etc., nothing against those games, you know, they're good and all, but it's just something with Final Fantasy. I kind of like that old 16-bit look, you know? I remember, I think it was Final Fantasy 13, I bought a few years ago, like, just on a whim, because I saw it on sale for like $20 or something at Walmart, and I just bought it, and I was like, it was like, with the battle system and everything, I just couldn't get into it, like, and I was like, that's why, like, I don't know, I just prefer that old 16-bit style, and it's like, you know, and it's not even just 3D JRPGs that I have a problem with in general. Like, there's plenty of other ones that I've enjoyed, like Guardians Crusade and Legend of Dragoon, Skies of Arcadia Legends, which I've actually been thinking about playing through again. But yeah, when it comes to Final Fantasy, I don't know, I just like that 16-bit style, like, and that's kind of what, like, the Octopath Traveler games remind me of, so, yeah. And speaking of Final Fantasy, we also have the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, I think what it's called. You know, it's the first 6 games, which are getting, like, kind of like an updated look, so to speak. You know, we're like more of an updated HD 16 8-bit look, whatever. Obviously prices differ from country and region and everything, you know, all around the world, but in the States, this collection is going to be $75, and I think that's kind of a bit steep. Like I said, obviously it's different in other countries and regions, stuff like money-wise, you know, more expensive or whatever, but I don't know. And I know these are JRPGs, like, you know, so obviously they have a lot of time play that you put into them and stuff, but still, just, I don't know, like, I could see maybe $50 or something, but $75 for, like, you know, just for a collection of old games, which, again, I know the JRPGs take a good while to beat, a lot of hours to play, you dump into them and everything, but still, it's just, I don't know, that seems a bit much. You know, maybe if I can find it on sale or something, we'll see what happens. And then there's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which actually came out last month. But I'm probably going to get them sometime next year, because it's funny, with the Sword and Shield games, well, Sword, the one that I played, it was like, that game, it was fun, but it had flaws, and part of it is me getting older, but there are definitely flaws that I noticed, and as well as, like, other people that are, well, adults and stuff, but, because obviously Pokemon is aimed at kids, but, you know, just because something's aimed at kids doesn't mean adults can't enjoy it. And there was, like, a whole controversy with those games, too, but I'm not going to get into all that. But because of these things, I was like, with the upcoming games, I was like, I'm going to hold off a bit. Like, I had this gut feeling, like, it's like, I'm going to wait a bit. Like, and I'm glad I did, because, as I'm sure plenty of you have probably noticed, the games have, whether you've played them or not, the games have a lot of bugs and glitches and stuff, which, certain things, like, frame drops, I can kind of deal with, but when you have, like, game glitch and, like, graphic glitches type things, they're kind of just like, and the two most common arguments are, one is like, oh, well, I haven't had any of those problems and stuff, which, like, that drives me insane, because it's like, just because you haven't experienced this problem doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And that can relate to anything, really, not just, like, video games and stuff. And the other one is like, well, Gen 1 had a lot of glitches, but, yeah, nice try, but all the glitches in the Gen 1 Pokemon games were triggered on command. Like, they weren't something you just naturally encountered in the game. you as the player had to do something to make these glitches happen. Like 99.9% of them anyway. Like probably the most infamous one being the missing no glitch. But so yeah, I'm gonna hold off for a bit so they can kind of patch things in a bit, like maybe fix some of the stuff. But the last one is not like a guarantee. It's kind of more of a hunch, and that's the Dragon Quest 3 HD, no 3D HD, no 3D 2D remaster. You know, the Dragon Quest games have been remastered a number of times, especially the third one. Because this was my first experience back in, I think the date is on here actually. Yeah, 98? Wow, I thought it was later than that. But yeah, this was probably back in like around the turn of the century when I was 13, 14, or whatever. I remember getting this. Back when it was still called Dragon Warrior in the States, it was some kind of like trademark issue or something. That's a whole other story. But yeah, that was my first experience with the Dragon Quest game. I've been a fan ever since. Yeah, like I said, obviously I still have the cartridge, the Game Boy Color version. I also still have the instructions and a poster. You know, this all came with the game. You know, on one side, it shows like all the character classes, and then on the other side is a map of like the region. I actually used to use the map for like references and stuff when I'd play the game. But yeah, this game has been remastered, remade, and ported dozens of times over the years. Like I even have a Super Nintendo version of the game that's like a reproduction card. It was on the Switch, like a slightly updated version. Well, I should say it is on the Switch, like an updated version. But now we have a new one coming out, and you know, the graphics are all like more like updated HD and stuff, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And you know, the enemy monster animations are like look more detailed and stuff. And one thing that's actually a first with all the different remakes and ports of this game is that you can actually see your characters. See, this game originally, all the versions, like the original NES or Famicom, whatever, the Game Boy Color, the Super Nintendo one I mentioned, the Switch one, etc. It always played kind of like Earthbound. Like you don't see your characters during battles. With this remake, you do see them. Which is kind of cool. Like I'm seeing that happen with like this remake. And we first heard about this remake, I think it was like a year and a half ago. I think it was like May of 2021. But we haven't heard much about it since. There are still some people talking about it, and we've heard like some rumors circulating of a possible new announcement and stuff. One person theorized that it could be coming in February for like for I think it was like some anniversary of the game or something, which I would be ecstatic if that happened, if it was that soon. But because that's the thing, I have even though we haven't heard anything, nothing's confirmed, I have a strong feeling it's going to be coming out sometime in 2023. Like, hopefully that will be the case. We'll see a new announcement, trailer, or a release date soon. So those are just some of the JRPGs that coming out in 2023 that I'm looking forward to. Is there any that you're looking forward to, or maybe even games from other genres that you might be looking forward to next year, 2023? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.